America's patience with Robert Mueller and his investigation is definitely running thin. I took a poll on April 22nd, coordinating it with John McLaughlin, who was, in my judgment, the best of the pollsters. He's not published in the media much, but he is absolutely incredible, and all of the really good politicians use him. We found that the public's patience with Mueller is absolutely wearing thin. When we asked the sample of 1,000 voters nationwide whether Mueller had uncovered any real evidence of presidential corruption, 33 said yes, but 51 said no. And had he found any evidence of collusion between Trump and Moscow? 33 said yes, and 43 said no. We asked if he had overstepped the bounds that he was originally appointed to do, to investigate collusion with Russia. Had he gone beyond that? And by 43 to 35, voters said yes, he had. And we asked, do you feel that he has taken too much time and cost too much money? And by 52 to 35, voters agreed. And finally, when we asked the voters, should you agree that Trump's critics should stop hounding him and let him do his job? And they supported that by 50 to 40. Very good numbers for the president. Overall, though, while they disapprove of much of the Mueller investigation, overall, when we said, do you think that he's sincerely following the facts and investigating where they lead, or do you think he's pursuing an agenda to oust Trump from office and will seize on anything he can find? They broke even on that fundamental question, 40 to 40. When we went a little further and said, should Trump fire Mueller, they said no, by 29 to 52. And by 55 to 35, they said that if he did fire Mueller, it would be indicative of him having something to hide. So they're basically siding with Trump. They're a little bit tired of Mueller, but they don't quite see the whole investigation as illegitimate, don't feel it's found anything yet, but are not willing to see Mueller fired and would really come down against Trump if he ever tried. So those are the facts. That's what people really think. And I think it's worth knowing. And it sharply differs from the media narrative, which is that the public is following the Mueller investigation intently and deeply believes that he's uncovering collusion and all that. The public opinion just doesn't buy that. So there's kind of a stopwatch on Mueller, and he's running out of time. Today's Lunch Alert is sponsored by the Patriot Gold Group. Recently, China announced that as a result of the huge U.S. debt and deficit, it's curtailing its purchases of U.S. bonds and therefore curtailing the lending of money to us. And Japan already has big problems of its own and needs to dump every penny they can into funding their own debt. So when you hear that the United States now owes $25 trillion in debt, more than every other part of our history combined, more than any other nation in the world, more than all other nations in the world combined, we have to wonder if they're going to continue to lend us money. The bottom line is that all of the major sources of revenue or of lending for our government have dried up. We've stopped quantitative easing because we can't afford to do more of it, and Russia and China and Japan are curtailing their purchases of our bonds. The stock market has only had 3 occasions where it has sky-high valuations higher than they are now. 1929, 2000, and 2008. And they are respectively the starts of the Great Depression, the dot-com bubble, and the Great Recession. So it might be safer to put your money into gold. That's why since the first of the year, gold has gone up, even as the Dow has gone down. So call the Patriot Gold Group at the number on the screen, or get in touch with them via internet at patriotgoldgroup.com. Thanks for watching.